not to make light of what we witness on the Braxtons, but baby, I have to ask the question. Listen, living legend Toni Braxton or her alter ego, Toni Michelle. Toni Michelle. Toni Braxton. She says, listen, I have an alter ego. And that alter ego is Toni Michelle. And I have a sneaky suspicion that Toni Michelle is not to be messed with. Okay? You don't mess with her. And Tamar brought out Toni Michelle on the episode of the Braxtons. It I was shocked. I had to take some notes. I really had to take some notes. Toni says, "You are unkind." And Big Sister's role stepped out and said, "You are unkind. Mental illness is real." I'm talking about, and I did a video about their dinner table. They keep reflecting on this episode and they go back and they show Tamar and Tawanda Braxton going at it. And uh, Tamar making reference to, "Oh, I know where you live because I gave you the money to put down on that house." And then, and then Tamar says, "You also steal." This is all alleged. "You've stolen, my credit cards." And then Tawana says, "Oh, you like to steal. You steal people's men and boyfriends." And I'm like, what? So I did a video about that being disgusted because, this is a family who has a wonderful lineage and all gifted in their voice. All the girls can sing, okay? Um, Even their brother Michael, you don't really see him as much. But in Evelyn Braxton, the mom can sing as well. But getting back to this season already, Tawanda's getting married to her longtime fiance, and but this dinner scene is what's so devastating. And you see Toni like no other get out of character because Tamar pushed her there. And when Toni Michelle, and put in it in the in the chat, do you like the alter ego? Because baby, she says Toni Michelle handles business. She doesn't play games. That's what Toni. That's what Living Legend said. But anyways, she got in the camera and she was referencing Tamar. She says, um, "You're in your own situation, basically your mental illness, because of Tamar." Okay. Then she says, "It's not fake. This is real. What you're seeing is real. She needs help." And this is the quote that I will forever remember that Toni Michelle said. She says, "Tamar, my baby sister, is comfortable being infamous and not famous." I said, "Oh, that is a bar. That is a bar. Okay, that is a bar." I mean, and it's so true. It's so true. We know that Tamar, um, allegedly makes money from chaos. You know, um, that whole debacle of her pretending that someone jumped her, allegedly, and she woke up in a pool of blood. Just weird. And it was all for a presentation of an album release. And it was some type of short movie with Mendices in it as her love interest. It was just so bizarre. And this was happening in the same week where she almost lost her life, allegedly. Child. Then at the table, she goes on to mention the medications, Lexapro, and she's depressed. And I believe that this is probably true. And this is why, I know I was making light of uh, Toni Braxton, her alter ego, Toni Michelle. But the sad reality is, um, Tamar is really just always wanting attention in the wrong way. And I wish that she would put so much energy into getting better, but into her music. If I had a big sister like Toni, baby, I would even enlarge that legacy. I would be saying, "Hey, Toni, let's get on this ticket. Let's do concerts. Let's do books. Let's do a podcast together. I mean, the whole clan. Let's build this brand like the Osmonds, okay? Because there's no reason why all this jealousy and petty stuff. Go get the bag. You have a following. Everybody wants the Braxtons to win and to make good music. And when they come together, it is hilarious. One of my favorite Braxton sisters is Tracy Braxton, who passed away from cancer last year, 2 years ago. I believe it was 2023. Um, don't quote me, but it wasn't that long ago. And I miss her so much because she brought joy and just a funny spirit and a beautiful voice, alto, I believe, and just a beautiful light that just brought everyone together. And I miss her, and she's needed. She's needed, and she's missed. And so, I don't know. Every time I think about that, I'm like, wow, you guys could be $1 billion. Not that I'm counting their wallet. They may be. I don't know. But I mean, huger than life. Huger than life. You see other families that are talented and they work well together and they just so chaotic that you really don't need to really be on, reality TV begging for that TV check. All of you guys are so talented in your own right that you could have just took this whole brand. I mean, it's not too late. Like I said, they have a new brand called the Braxtons, um, and it's not the Braxton family values. Where is the value? No shade. Hopefully the episodes get better and the seasons will get better. But this fighting each other over dumb stuff and boyfriends and it was just crazy. I don't even want to go into detail because it was just unreal. And to see Toni, who, she's physically has, a very serious medical illness, and she needs to reserve all of her good energy and strength for her new concert with New Edition and Boys to Men. All three of these groups are in, well, she's by herself, but the two groups and the two male groups in Toni are going on the road. And so she needs to save her strength for that. So listen, she doesn't need to surround herself with negativity. I hope that Tamar and everyone could get it together. I pray for Trina's husband who's battling also a heart condition. So it's a lot going on this season. So we need to be deep rooted in prayer. All right, you guys. I love you guys. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok. Bye.